Hey moms, welcome back to the channel. And today we are talking to Steen about the Quaran-tea.
So Steen is actually my sister-in-law and Ollie's wonderful aunt. She is a nanny of two girls that are 5 and 1, and she's going to just kind of give us a rundown of how the quarantine has impacted her work with the kids, her social life, her work in the community, and just kind of let us know how she's processing all of that.
All right. Well, hi, I'm Steen. Like Angel said, I'm a nanny, and it has been quite an interesting couple of weeks. The quarantine started for us the week after spring break.
Where do you
kind of
live?
during. Oh, sorry, I'm in Fort Worth, Texas.
Yeah.
And so the quarantine started for us about, I guess it was mid-March. I think it was March 13th or 14th. And so the 5-year-old had been out of school for a week for spring break and then just never went back. And so we had about a week or so before the school came up with like packets that they could send home. And she goes to a private preschool. She's not in kindergarten yet. So they came up with little packets, and they would send them home with us weekly for us to do. And then we had, we could send some of the work back each week. And I think the transition to homeschool was probably the most difficult part, because she didn't see us as teacher figures, and she didn't want to do the work at home, because at home she normally has her own routines and things that she likes to do. And so there was a bit of an adjustment period where we were trying to figure out how she learns best at home, which is clearly different than how she learns best at school. And, we couldn't have the same routines that she had in the classroom, partially because we could only do any real work while the baby was napping. And the baby naps for about an hour and a half a day. So one of the funniest moments, I think, was when her preschool program was 3 days a week. So 3 full days, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And when we started doing homeschool, we spread that out Monday through Friday. And she caught on. And she sat down next to me one day and she goes, "Hey, so how come when I go to school, I go for 3 sleeps? And when I work at home, I work for 5 sleeps?" And I was like, that's a solid question.
That's some really good 5-year-old logic.
He's very clever.
5 sleeps.
He's like, "I need to know why I'm doing more work." She was doing the same amount of work. We just had to spread it out over more days.
Yeah.
And once she understood that, she's like, "All right, I guess that's whatever." But yeah, just figuring out that balance took probably a week or two, and now it's gotten better. She knows that when the baby goes down for her nap, that's when she and I work, and then she gets to work a little bit with her mom in the mornings. Most mornings as well. So it helps kind of split up her day, and she gets to kind of have a little bit more say in like how she does things, because we have more flexibility and more time that way.
Yeah.
We're lucky that both of her parents work from home, so her mom's able to do that. They work from home anyway. So her mom was able to kind of schedule that into her day a little bit. And yeah, that's been a real just balancing act, I guess, because it's a lot, and it's a lot for her to process. And she hears us talking about the whole process and quarantine, and she has memorized a Disney mashup song that was given new lyrics about the quarantine. Like, so she's doing fine. I think she doesn't mind so much being home. And neither do I, honestly. But it definitely makes it feel like the days are longer when we can't break it up and go and do things in different
Yeah.
places and that sort of thing. So we take a lot of
Yeah.
walks now.
Yeah.
But we have so much more time together that I feel like our relationship has gotten stronger. You know, she's expressed a couple of things to me that have been that I don't know that she would have gotten around to saying. You know, like she's opened
Yeah.
up, told us her emotions a little bit more, and we've started this thing when she gets frustrated and nervous about something where she draws her feelings out and then explains it to me. And so now when she's starting to get like worked up about something, she's like, "Can I go draw my feelings?" I'm like, "Yes, please draw your feelings." So it took a couple weeks to kind of get in the groove, but I think we're there. I think we're in a good spot now. But yeah, I mean, just the idea of being at home all day long with young kids, like it's hard.
Yeah.
It's tricky, and I get to go home at the end of the day, go to
Yeah.
bed in a quiet room. So so yeah, I mean, especially for people who are, you know, working with their kids and trying to homeschool their kids and also work a different job. Like this is my job. So it's hard for me, but it's also I can focus 100% of my attention on it. And
Right.
been really nice. So I read the book How to Talk So Kids Can Learn during quarantine. And that's been really helpful too, because it has a lot of good little nuggets on how to get points across to children in a way that's healthy and nurturing and like not it's like productive. So like it explains if you're praising a kid to praise like specific behaviors or specific moments, and if you have to criticize, you know, their work or correct something that they're doing wrong or whatever, you know, make it very specific, and not, you know, a very general comment. And you know, all of these little tricks on how to like engage kids in decision making for themselves. And I've been using a lot of those tactics, I guess, for lack of a better
Yeah.
word. And I feel like
No.
it's been really helping because she's responding well to it. You know, she's like, oh, she's respecting me as a human being and not just like telling me what to do because I'm a kid. So that's been really, really helpful, because there are definitely those days where I'm just like, just do the thing. Like, why don't you just do the thing? That would be great.
Just do the thing.
Just do the thing. And she can't, you know, she's 5. So it's been a learning curve, but I think it's been good overall.
Yeah.
Um yeah, I mean it's been a lot of trial and error too.
I mean, and it's all like, I feel like being a parent in general is kind of about just being able to adapt. And that's pretty much what
Yeah.
everyone is having to do, like
Yeah.
everywhere right now.
Yeah.
Like it's all about like adapting and figuring out what works. And it's like, as hard as that is, like, because I've definitely had moments. I mean, we've been in this for going on 7 weeks, and I still have moments where I feel like I've really got things, I'm in like a good place with things mentally. I've got like these things in order. And then I'm like, oh, fuck, not anymore. Like there are these moments where it's just like something like Ollie had something that happened, and it wasn't anything majorly bad, but he had kind of an
Mhm.
emotional moment the other day, actually at your
Yeah.
parents. And it was like, that has been weighing on me since it happened. And I'm like, not over it yet. So like
Yeah.
when I tell you that he has gotten anything and everything he could possibly want from mommy for the last couple of days, it's
Yeah.
100% true. Cookies for breakfast? Sure, absolutely. Like it doesn't matter, because like I was in a good place emotionally, but then there's like these setbacks that happen, and they don't even
Right.
necessarily have to be related to the quarantine or the virus or anything, but
Right.
it's just being able to like adapt emotionally, but not just for yourself, but like for the kids that are around you too, because it's hard.
Yeah, yeah.
Really
I feel
difficult.
like when I'm having a hard day, because I feel like I'm going in like cycles. Like there are days when I am 100% cool with being stuck at home, and
Yep.
you know, I'm like, I've got projects I can work on and all that stuff, and then I have days where I'm just like, feel awful. Everything is terrible. I want to burn it all down. And yeah, and so it's like I go
Burn
to
it all
work,
down.
and these kids are just being their normal kid selves, and
Yeah.
so you know, it's like sometimes that's hard to be
Yeah.
around, you know, like to not be able to process my own things while I'm
Because
at
you
work.
have to put it all aside. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I go home and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go play The Sims for 5 hours now.
That's how
But
long
you know,
it
it's
takes me to find an outfit for my Sims.
I
for real.
cannot stand watching Melinda play The Sims. It's enough to make me want to jump off a bridge.
It's fine once the house is together and their wardrobe is together.
No, it isn't.
And then you're
because
bored of them.
that is a liar, pants on fire situation. What happens is, they're going to have a baby. Let's change everything about how they look and everything about their house. It's like you've been playing for 6 hours and nothing has happened. Your character
It's
doesn't even
all
know how to
happened.
cook.
That's the whole game. My Sims.
It is though. You're 100% right. It is the only Sims game that has ever had like goals is busting out on the GameCube. Every house you went to, you had goals you had to meet before you can move out of that house. That's the only game that has ever had a point to it.
Well, my Sims had triplets the other day, and I was like, no,
Triplets?
no. I was like, I do not have
triplets.
the energy for triplets.
Is that Sims 4?
Yeah.
For the PC or the X? Is it on the Xbox?
It's the PC one.
PC.
Four is on console now.
Oh man.
Oh. Yeah, no, I literally was like, I'm gonna cry.
It's time to start a new game. Click.
Let's just move and not move the babies into the box for moving.
No, it moves the babies with you. They have to be
So
a young adult to
unless
leave them.
I was gonna say unless they're a young adult.
And they had a toddler, so like there was just crying all the time.
That's when you break out the cheat codes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're like,
everybody's
"Pick them
happy
up.
all the time.
Buy them a birthday cake every day. It's fine."
It was awful.
That's fine.
Yeah, no. So going home and like, you know, kind of doing my own thing and like having some projects at home has been helpful to kind of decompress. But yeah, I mean, it's most days I think now at this point, you know, it's become the new normal, so it's not quite as overwhelming. The first week or two was really hard, but I think I'm having more good days now than I was having a couple weeks ago. So that's
I think I am too.
Yeah.
I think I'm the opposite.
Uh-oh. You're more of an extrovert though, right?
No, I hate people.
Oh, okay.
But anyways,
except you guys.
Except you guys. Let's try that.
Like and subscribe.
No, I in the beginning I felt like things were fine because I'm a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
I'm here all the time. But now I don't think almost 2-year-olds really know how to express their feelings, and they can't draw their feelings out, and I think she's starting to get frustrated at home because we don't get to go see her friends, or we don't get to go walk around places. Like we have this new slide behind us which she loves, but that's just right here. That's not going to the park. That's she is the social one in our house.
Yeah, and she's used to being able to do those things because you take her to do those things.
Since I was approved to drive after 2 weeks.
Right.
We've gone and we've done things.
Yeah.
Like I expected to be able to be taking her to the library by now, and I can't.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Yeah. What about like Steen? What about like your community stuff, like the like your horses and like all of those kinds of things that you do?
Yeah. So I've been socially distanced from those. Special Olympics has been canceled since.
Makes sense.
Pretty early on.
Yeah.
And then so the barn is still open and serving clients, but nobody's like has to come. So they are still serving clients because it's a medical need. It's physical therapy and
Emotional
therapeutic
therapy
writing.
too, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of emotional therapy as well.
Yeah.
And so they are still open, but I have been a little bit too worried to go. So
Yeah.
they've narrowed it down. They have fewer people in each class right now, and that's been possible because a lot of people are choosing to stay home, I think, too. And then
Right.
they have the absolute max, like however many, because some writers need more helpers than others. So they have enough helpers to remain safe with the clients and everything else, but they're reducing the number of people who are around for each lesson, to whatever point they're able. So that's been helpful. They seem to be doing as best they can, and keeping their doors open for those clients. But I have a roommate who works with the public, and I don't want to risk it. We have some vulnerable clients out there, and so if they can have volunteers who are able to quarantine otherwise and then go out there to help, I feel like that's safer. So right now I'm still staying distanced, and we're just kind of playing it by ear. Hopefully I can go back out there soon, but I have been keeping up with some of the athletes and like the families from the barn via FaceTime and all of that. So trying to keep in touch as much as possible without seeing each other, which has been weird. It's strange because I'm so used to having all of these different things to go do, and ways to fill my time. So I've been filling my time in other ways, which has helped. But yeah, it's just strange not to be able to see those groups of people.
Yeah.
Every
Especially
week.
because you have relationships with them.
Yeah, yeah, because we're there, we're with each other at least once a week, and it's just strange, really.
So the barn that you work in, we know about the barn that you work in,
Yeah.
but like if you had to describe, like tell other people, like what
So
is it
it's
exactly?
it's a therapeutic writing center. So they provide physical therapy and therapeutic writing for people with disabilities. So it's a PATH certified center, if you're familiar with that, which is an accreditation system that has like safety regulations and all of those kinds of things. And we do basically writing lessons. We participate in horse shows and Special Olympics equestrian events. And it's just a really cool thing. I've got a couple of really cool clients. I work with a couple of kids on usually on Tuesday mornings. I've got 2 writers that I work with directly. And then I have a partner volunteer that I go out to the barn with one morning a week. And her job, she's a young woman with Down syndrome, and her job is to groom their miniature horse, who he's like 31 years old. He's blind.
Oh.
He's like got this like fluffy coat, and it's just like, it's so much fun to go out there and take care of him, because he's like a grumpy old man, and then Amy gets there and he's like, oh, there's my friend, so
Right.
it's really fun. So yeah, we definitely miss that. I'm sure he's looking like a hot mess right now, but they've got without Amy's magical touch. But they've got people out there, taking care of them, picking their hooves and feeding them and everything else. So they're getting all the care that they need, but just with fewer people involved. And
yeah,
we miss it, but it's been a lot of, it's been good to get the rest, I think.
yeah.
I think with all, when all said and done, I think I usually volunteer about 20 hours a week. About 15 maybe, depending on the week. And so having that extra time has definitely been, it's been a good thing. But I can't wait to get back to it.
Kind of like bittersweet.
Yeah, it's very bittersweet. I mean, like, I can appreciate it for what it is, and I think my body probably needed the rest. But at this point, yeah, I'm ready to get back.
Yeah.
I built a garden. I don't know how to sit still, so I built a garden What else? I baked some bread.
That's apparently a thing to do, is bake the bread.
Apparently a thing to do. I baked some bread. I made it into French toast.
Ooh.
What else did I do? I've just like done a couple of weird random things. I've done a lot of puzzles. Read some books. So I mean, it's been nice to have that time to do the things that I don't ever get the chance to do. But yeah.
Makes sense.
That's kind of what I found too, because it's like, you know, I mean, I make stuff and you know, Melinda and I craft and do things when we have time, but I have so much more bandwidth to do things now than I normally do. So I just have a lot more things like lined up that I'm working on that I don't know that I would have put in the time to try to do these things if it wasn't for things kind of being like how they are. I mean, shirts and stuff we do those all the time, but like, you know, I started trying to get into like doing wood projects and things that like, I just don't know that I would have pushed myself into right now if, like I said, if it wasn't for like what the situation is that we're in. So that part is kind of nice. And it's like, you know, and I've told, you know, Melinda, and I've said this before, but like, you know, I actually don't mind the not being able to go anywhere. I think the thing that sucks, like for me, is the like kind of being like, I have this like constant job insecurity thing. And like, I don't know like what's going to happen with that. If anything happens, whatever. And then there's like the part of like me being home with the toddler 7 days a week it's a lot. And I actually rewatched my, my day in the life video 2 days ago. And it's interesting because I think I was kind of at a point where I was taking my time for granted. And then I watched that video where I like am talking so much about how much I hate going to work and how I only get 2 or 3 hours a day with him. And I'm like, talk about watching something in perfect timing of like needing because it was just like, oh yeah, like it's like because eventually I will go back full time. Eventually we will go back to only seeing each other on the weekends mostly. So it's just like I kind of need to continue to try my best to eat it up, you know, while I have it. So
yeah, it's hard. It's hard when it's feast or famine like that too, because it's like you want the time, but it's also exhausting.
Yeah, it really is. That it's like, I mean, I literally sometimes after putting him to bed, I like come out of the room sometimes and I just go, ugh, like, it's so much.
I mean, that's why I'm sitting out on my deck.
Yeah.
Like, I'm literally filming outside of my apartment because my daughter is losing her mind tonight and I don't know why. Don't know what's wrong. So daddy's fixing it. Sometimes I guess that's what they need. Hopefully she's asleep by now.
But she should be. Good grief.
Hopefully.
I mean, but she like Angel and I were talking. We think she must be going through a growth spurt.
Yeah.
And like maybe the growing pains.
I think she's right at the leaps point for her age. I'm pretty sure.
Probably.
I feel like Oliver went through the same thing.
Yeah, she'll be 21 months in a week. So there's lots of stuff going on right now, and it's fun.
Uh-oh. That was me. I'm sorry. I got to put my phone on the charger.
You guys switched places on me.
I was like, wait a second.
That's Christine was at the top and now she's at the bottom of my screen.
Oh.
It's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, she was the same for mine. So we've been talking about the different things that we're noticing just from being in quarantine, like content that's coming out, like people just trying to like do other things to stay really positive or be really funny, and like people putting the signs in their yards. And so, you know, is there anything, you know, like that or anything else about what you've noticed for yourself or what your job entails, like anything else that you want to share just about how like it's affecting you or how you're processing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been relatively easy for me in terms of my job is safe and they already worked from home. So the logistics of quarantine were pretty simple.
Right.
And so, we've kind of leaned into it, and we're figuring out what's working for us and spending a lot more time outside and that sort of thing. And, just filling the time that I would otherwise be in the car, or, you know, at an event, or something like that, where, I get to try new things and work on things that I've never had time to do, but have always kind of wanted to do. So that's been really nice. And then just in general, the extra time with the 5-year-old.
Yeah.
I while she was in school, I had all this one-on-one time with the baby, which was really great. And now it's nice because the baby's getting older. She's more of a toddler now, and the 5-year-old is so creative and so verbal, and she's able to come up with like really creative ideas. And she, when we go on a walk, there's a theme to it. She's got characters in her head at all times. We made a fairy garden, and all these little things that we've had time to just like sit back and do.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's opened these doors with her emotionally, where we can communicate our thoughts and feelings a little bit more. She's told me little bits and pieces about like her days at school that she never got around to sharing before because she was tired of talking about school. And
Yeah.
so now it's kind of nice because we get a little bit more insight with her because we have this extra time. And sometimes that extra time is exhausting and overwhelming, but I think overall it's definitely always been worth it. Even
Yeah.
when I come home at the end of the day and I'm like, wow, that was a hard one.
Yeah.
It's still been worth it because I feel like we're learning each other better. And that's been really neat. I mean, I really appreciate the fact that like we've been able to uh continue to build our bond. I feel like she's more affectionate with me just like spontaneously than she had been. And she already was like plenty affectionate, but it's like I've noticed an increase, and I feel like that's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
And she's still very independent at the same time, so she'll go off and she'll play by herself for a while, and then she comes and finds me and the baby. And so it's been really fun. But yeah, just having that extra time to do things that just didn't fit before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Has been neat, and it'll be interesting to see kind of going forward what sticks, because there's a few
Yeah.
things that I would like to stick. And that I think that'll be really neat. But yeah, it's been a big mixed bag, I guess. I did my therapy session this month on Zoom, and I gotta say I
Oh.
liked it. Doing it from my bed with my dog was pretty great. And so that helped a little bit to like process some of the anxiety that comes along with everything that's happening kind of outside of my little bubble. But inside my bubble, I feel like it's mostly been good. Um, just a lot of talking to people and getting people's thoughts and opinions, and that includes the 5-year-old. So it's been a lot of
I'm
fun.
sure it does.
He's got a lot of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I
thanks
think,
for agreeing to come on and talk to us. It's like there's just everybody's being impacted in so many different ways. We just want to kind of get as many perspectives and thoughts and
yeah,
stuff as we can. So we
yeah.
appreciate it.
Well, thanks for inviting me. I think
Yeah.
this was really fun.
Yes, absolutely. And Christine was talking about the barn that she works at. And if you want to see some of that stuff, are you private on Instagram?
I am public, and so
Okay.
is the barn. The barn has
Okay,
a public Instagram as well.
Okay, so what are your tags on Instagram?
I am at Steenery, Steenary, and the barn is at Victory Therapy Center.
Victory Therapy Center. That's
Mm-hmm.
awesome. So definitely go check them out on Instagram. She posts all kinds of amazing pictures. And then, check us out on Instagram while you're there at Momestly Me, and Facebook and Twitter. And of course, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. This is a series that we are really enjoying. I mean, everybody
Yeah.
has such a different perspective, and talking to different people also kind of brings out different perspectives for us as well of what's going on with our stories that maybe we
Yeah.
wouldn't have talked about too. So it's been
Yep.
fun. Hopefully, you guys like this. Thank you again to Steen for joining us, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.